Hello there and welcome to another edition of Rules Unveiled. As randomly selected, we're back with Series 1 with Heat D. I hope you enjoy. This episode is unique compared to other episodes from other championships as it's dedicated to a different weight class entirely and in many ways serves as the first ever Featherweight Championship. The episode almost contained the first two out of the arenas, with both Cunning Plan and Demolisher almost falling out the arena due to their size and the arena having rail guards for walls. Disregarding VHS releases of the US events, this marks the only time prolific US robots, who would also become famous thanks to BattleBots, would appear in the UK series. These robots being the Master, La Machine, South Bay Mauler, Dumore, Thor, Taz, Punjar, Vlad the Impaler, and obviously Biohazard. This episode also contains clips from the failed 1995 UK Open, which served as the pilot for Robot Wars. With the brief clips in the 1996 highlights, this marks the first appearance of Mauler in the show. Mauler would later appear in the first World Championship and fought in the lost MTV pilot. At the time, Cunning Plan's defeat of Demolisher was the fastest battle in Robot Wars. As of today, it's joint 8th with Kadena Machina vs D. Jonathan Pierce introduced Cunning Plan by stating that Oliver Steeples, builder of the robot, was a Star Wars fan. Steeples would later build a robot for Star Wars The Force Awakens in 2015. Vector of Armageddon's design was inspired by the US featherweight Wedge of Doom. In fact, the name itself was based on Wedge of Doom. Adam Clark actually intended to fight in the US Robot Wars events before the show became a reality. Vector of Armageddon is the robot which covered the most distance in the gauntlet in the first Wars and still be eliminated from the series. Cunning Plan and Vector of Armageddon are similar, as their builders would enter the next two seasons with a heavyweight whose name would stay on, then both teams would fail to qualify for Series 4. According to Oliver Steeples, whilst Crazy Tokyo had to be taken out of the arena, the remote control car went up into overdrive, chewing up the runner of the man carrying it and burning out the robot's resistors. Cunning Plan had two different official images, seemingly two different designs. In the first official image, it appears taller and has the University of Reading logo on the wedge, while the other image used the robot that appears on screen, the logo on top of the robot. All of the screws, bolts, sheet metal and aluminium bolts used in the making of Cunning Plan were obtained from the University of Reading's stores. This marks the only time Shunt replaces its axe. In the stock car event, it has a flag. Demolisher is the only featherweight to make a physical appearance later on, appearing in Series 2. In fact, very oddly, it appeared in the Constructor's Guide and in the magazine during the Fourth Wars. Just days before filming of the First Wars, one of Cunning Plan's cooling fans overheated, but Oliver Steeples was able to get a replacement in time. Demolisher was the first ever robot to suffer a self-inflicted immobilization. During Saturn's introduction, Stuart McDonald pronounced its name as Saturn, instead of the more common Saturn. Tom Barber of Saturn was a student of King Edward VI Grammar School, which also entered Series 1 with Tracy, while Sam went to Brentwood School, which would later also enter Robot Wars, entering the reboot with Expulsion. And that is it for today. Heat B of Series 1 is certainly the funniest episode of them all. I love the featherweights. I love how maddening they are. This particular episode is a lot of fun, like from beginning to end. You know, you can't help but love it. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of facts to do with Bugs. I really like the look of Bugs. Bugs was this ladybird-looking robot. Overall, this episode is just fun. I don't know what else to say. It's also the only time we ever see actual, commentary from Jonathan Pierce of the 90s events. It would have been great to have Jonathan Pierce do VHS or DVD releases of the 90s events, but obviously there's a lot of controversy behind the scenes and that probably would never happen. As for the episode itself, certainly more fun than most of the Series 1 episodes, although arguably it is lesser quality than say Heat A or Heat B, but it's much better than Heat C and certainly better than Heat E and F. Probably the third best overall, I guess. Certainly the funniest, as I've just mentioned multiple times. From beginning to end, it is just a joyride. All the robots are fun. The stock car event is actually a fun trial. Usually I'm not really a fan of trials, but this is a fun trial. Shunt with the little flag. The battles themselves are honestly kind of the weakest part of this episode. The battles are not particularly great. A lot of them are very lackluster. A lot of them last 5 seconds more or less because a robot just rams into the other and it dies. Not really entertaining all that much, but overall a very good episode and a very, very funny episode, all things considered. So like usual, let's see what gets randomly selected. So we've got Series 10 next, a new series that we haven't actually delved into. Series 10 is going to be one of the most awkward series to do videos on because there's 2 episodes which contain certain aspects which I'm just going to ignore for the sake of, well, for the sake of, if you know, you know. But Series 10 Heat D, very much a great episode. I'm looking forward to that one. And I hope to see you next time.